Hello and welcome back to Project 380. We're back at it again with organ donor, and hopefully this is going to be the last video on dismantling the car, as all I've pretty much got left is the rear end, and there's not a huge amount to it. So I need to get the car in the stage today where pretty much everything is out. This does include dropping the fuel tank, which hopefully will become apparent in the very next video. But first off, I'm going to remove the rear bumper, and I think that deserves a back to basics video. So I'll catch up with you in a second once that rear bumper's removed. So that's the rear bumper and rear lights all off. I think I'm going to get changed into some overalls and tackle getting this rear subframe off. I'm probably going to do what I've done with the front subframe and take the subframe, diff, arms, brakes and wheels all off all in one go. So I've just been underneath and done a few things, as I can't get me and the camera down in that transmission tunnel. But I've disconnected the handbrake cables from the chassis and they're just dangling free there. I've also disconnected the front to back brake line, which is over there. And now this subframe is just held on with 4 nuts and 2 bolts and the tops of the suspension. So I think I'm going to bring the trolley jack under here underneath the diff to support everything here and undo the nuts and bolts that hold the subframe to the chassis. There's 3 either side of the subframe, right where the subframe connects to the chassis, and they look awfully corroded. A wire brush, a whole can of penetrating fluid, and an hour later all 6 of those nuts and bolts are out of the subframe now. All that's holding it in now is the jack, the axle stands, and the 4 nuts that are holding in the top of the suspension. So I'm going to remove those 4 nuts, then hopefully drop the whole subframe to the floor. I'm going to get a bigger ratchet. All 4 of those nuts are now out. Hopefully, if I've done everything right and I've got the car high enough, that subframe should just be able to drop down and roll out on the wheels. Slowly does it. Oh, well, that's a result. Well, the subframe is down and on the floor, but I haven't got the car high enough for the tyres to clear this part of the chassis. And now the only jack I've got is stuck underneath the subframe. So I've very carefully removed the wheels and balanced the trolley jack right on the diff. So hopefully I could just roll it out on the trolley jack. Like that. With the subframe out of the way, I now want to work on removing the fuel tank. You can't remove the fuel tank without removing that subframe, as most of the fuel tank is here, but it does wrap on top of the subframe. But in order to disconnect the fuel tank, I have to get to the fuel sender unit underneath this carpet. And to do that, ideally I need this mouse trap out of the way, the wind deflector and soundbar, and then remove the carpet. Ooh. It's getting a bit sketchy standing in this now. Okay. I probably should have the roof up or off for this part, but I'm going to wait till the car is safer on the floor, as it is getting a little bit wobbly. So I think I'm going to squeeze my hand underneath the carpet to get the back few bolts out of this panel here. Underneath here is the fuel sender. And underneath that panel we've got our fuel sender unit with the wires going to the pump and the level sensor, the feed and the return pipe, and the breather pipe for the tank. So I'm going to start by disconnecting the electricals to the sender unit, and then the 2 fuel hoses, and then the fuel breather. I'm pretty sure I've got to disconnect it this side, as I think this little filter stays on the tank. Now I should be able to go underneath the car and drop the fuel tank out. Whoops. So there's one hook in the chassis that goes in this hole here, and I just kept getting the fuel tank caught on that hook. But the fuel tank is finally out, which means I could drain the remaining out of that fuel tank and lower the car back down to the floor so it's a bit more safe to work on. Now the fuel flap. As you can see, it's an aftermarket fuel flap. I think I'm going to remove this and hopefully come up with some sort of way to modify this to put on my Mark II. As for the past year and a half, I haven't had a fuel flap. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to modify it, but I'm sure I could work something out. So I'm going to get that removed. Oh, well, that was easier than expected. I'm sure I can make something work with this. A couple of other things that I want to take from this car to put on my Mark II is the rear deck plate with the Frankenstein bolt, these little B-pillar caps here, and the hardtop latch. For some reason after the rebuild I can't find any of those things, and all of those off of this car will go straight onto the Mark II. A T40 to remove the hardtop latches. One Phillips screw at the top, one Phillips screw inside, and one plastic popper in the door shut. So now I've got a little bag of goodies to fit to my Mark II at the weekend to make it feel a little bit more complete. So there's not actually that much more I need to remove from this car. I've pretty much got everything I need to from it. However, I do think I'm going to try and save the roof. The roof isn't in the best condition and it is red. It has been repaired before, so needs a little bit of work to be a roof again. But I've got two possible options I can use this roof for. I just haven't decided which route I want to go down. But right now, that needs to come off. So I'm going to get it removed and carefully stored somewhere until I've decided which route I want to go down. I haven't sorted anywhere to store this. So as you can see, there's really not a lot left to this car. There's really only the carpet, the wiring harness and the pedal assembly left. So off of camera, I'm going to remove the carpet and the wiring harness as I need to save both of those, and then it's pretty much there. The carpet is out, the wiring harness is out and boxed up, all three pedals are out, including the servo and both master cylinders and the throttle cable. They're all boxed up for a future project, hopefully, and that is pretty much the car disassembled. So what I want to do now is tidy up and move the car slightly back a bit so I could do a little bit more work to it. But that requires the garage to be tidy and hopefully, fingers crossed, a special guest. So I'm going to get all the tools sorted and the garage nice and clear and hopefully pick the video back up from there. So the car is all taken apart and all the essential stuff I want to keep is now off the car and mostly away in storage. The car is also now on the floor and in the middle of the garage. So what now? Well, the next step, I really did want a special guest here, and that is Robbie, the previous owner of the car. Now, due to bad timing and the fact that I have a deadline for this chassis, we just weren't able to make that happen. So I'm going to have to do the last part of this by myself. So what I'm actually going to be doing now is cutting up the chassis and leaving one specific bit left. But in order to cut that up, I now need to remove the windscreen. This is definitely a job meant for two people, and I've only ever removed one windscreen from an MX-5, and that didn't go great. So now I'm going to try do it by myself without breaking the windscreen. Everything around the windscreen has been removed, apart from this weather stripping around the outside. I'm not quite sure how that comes out, but what I'm going to try do is get a heat gun on that and try and carefully remove it. Well, I don't think that's how you remove it. I think that is actually stuck to the windscreen glue, and I have ruined this trim, so I think I'm going to go straight to removing the windscreen. And to do that, I've got a couple of tools to help me. So I've got a reel of windscreen wire. I think this is just barbed stainless wire. A tool to poke that wire through the windscreen glue, and 2 handles to hold that wire so I can pull it back and forward and saw the window out. I've never used these before and I'm going to have my best guess at how this works. So if I'm doing it wrong, let me know in the comments down below. So I'm going to use this tool to try and poke through that windscreen glue. Try and find a good place to go through. Well, already cracked the windscreen. And this is why we get the professionals to do it. So just poking this tool through, I've already cracked the windscreen. I wasn't actually going to save the windscreen anyway, I just wanted this as practice. So I think I'm going to try again over there. This side was far more successful, no cracks in the windscreen, and the tool is through. Now I've just got to work out how I connect the wire to that and pull the wire through. So I worked out this was actually to push the wire through at the same time. The wire is through now and dangling in the cabin. So now hopefully if I remove this tool, the wire stays poked through the windscreen and I can pull this through and attach a handle to it. Both handles are attached now, so I'm going to work backwards and forwards, trying to saw through the windscreen glue and hopefully remove the windscreen. Oh, well, it appears I'm cutting straight through this. The lower part's going to be difficult. Could really use another person here. Or could I use more wire, a longer piece? Maybe I'll do the sides and the top and then put a longer piece in to do the bottom by myself. Okay, well I've somehow managed to get it stuck there and the wires started to fray. So I think I'm going to start again with a longer piece of wire. Well, I think that's all the way. So I've cleaned a couple of spots on the windscreen in the hope to put some windscreen suckers. Oh, that was tough. And hopefully, just lift the windscreen out. Well, that trim's a little bit stuck. That is definitely in the windscreen glue. Oh no, not anymore. Well, I wouldn't say it was successful, as I did crack the windscreen. I definitely damaged some paint up here and completely ruined this trim. But the windscreen is out. When I need to replace a windscreen on another one, I'll probably leave it to the professionals. But now, with the windscreen out, it is officially time to start cutting. And I am going to start off with the windscreen surround. I would say there's no going back now, but I've already cut the front of the car off. So there's definitely no going back now. That is surprisingly strong where all 3 layers meet, but that is the windscreen surround off. Now that the windscreen and the windscreen surround are out of the way, I'm going to start cutting up the rest of the chassis. And I'm going to start with the least structural part first, which is the transmission tunnel. I don't want to leave this till last. This is a part I want to keep, and I fear if I cut all the structural stuff first and leave this till last, something's going to fall and make the transmission tunnel bend. So let's cut the transmission tunnel. I've marked myself a guideline to cut along, but I think I'm going to come up from this O2 sensor hole towards the line and cut along. Well, the chassis is starting to separate, so now I think we should tackle the awkward part of cutting through that fuel tank area. I'm a little bit cautious of standing in this while I cut something structural, but here goes. I also don't think this blade is long enough to get through. That would be a no. Well, I'm not a fan of this. Well, I ended up hacking quite a lot away. My blade just wasn't long enough to go all the way through that chassis and just ended up taking it out in sections. But I'm pretty sure I can see daylight all the way through now and fairly confident this part of the chassis is separated from that part. Now I want to cut along here somewhere. I think the path of least resistance is going to be straight through here and down the arch. And now I'm really not sure what to do. I've cut all along there, all the way down the arch and on the tub on the inside, and all I've got left is that chassis rail right there. But I don't want to be standing in the fuel tank area here when I cut that leg, just in case both sides collapse in. And from here, I really can't see what I'm doing. I don't really want to be standing there, as I think this section's going to drop. So I think I'm going to go in the fuel tank area, cut the bottom of the chassis leg, and then decide what I'm going to do to cut the top. I think I'm almost through. So I've got the camera way out of the way, just in case. And hopefully it's time for the very last cut. I think I've mismatched the cuts. Very much so. Gotta be there now. I'm gonna try push the front apart a bit in the hope to separate that rear chassis leg. Yep, I definitely mismatched them cuts. This part of the chassis and that part of the chassis are literally hanging on by a couple of threads. What are you held on by? Oh, yeah. Well, that was definitely harder than I first imagined. It probably would have went a lot smoother if I had a longer blade on the Sawzall. But now the bit that I want to keep is separate from the rest of the chassis. I'm going to get the rest of the chassis cut up into manageable bits so I can get it out of the garage, as I don't think I'm going to be able to get this whole bit out of the garage by myself and onto a trailer. So I'm going to get this all cut up and the garage somewhat tidy, and I'll see you in a minute. So I didn't get hugely far with cleaning up the garage. A lot of things are happening in the background, cars are changing, projects are changing, and I've had to store a few extra things in the garage. So still pretty messy. But the bulk of the chassis that I don't need is all cut up and gone now. And all I'm left with is one part. And this is all that's left of that chassis. I have trimmed a couple of extra bits off, like the front of the car here with the chassis leg. I've trimmed up around the seatbelt post. I've still got a bit more trimming to do there, and a bit more trimming elsewhere. But this is all that's left. So if you can guess why I've kept this specific part of the chassis, leave it in the comments down below. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe if you're new, and catch me in the next one where you'll find out what I'm doing with this part of the chassis.